welcome back to my channel. I am Tiff with Journal with Tiff, and today I came across an ink that I wanted to share. One of my favorite lines of ink is the Pilot Iroshizuku inks, and my very favorite of all of them is Tsukushi. This is a actual just empty Iroshizuku bottle. I absolutely love these bottles. I had a bunch of the, I think 15 ml vials, and when I realized that I could buy a just empty bottle from, I think this came from Goulet Pens, and it comes just without a label, and it might have a little bit of some other ink color in it, and I just thoroughly cleaned it out, and I just pretty much put all of my inks, my Tsukushi inks in here. This is my favorite Iroshizuku ink. We're going to get that correct eventually. Unfortunately, this has been discontinued, and it just hurts my heart that it was discontinued. So just like Inaho, I was kind of on a mission of finding some of the closest inks that would mimic this color. So good Lord, y'all. Tsukushi. There we go. We're gonna just bear with me. Tsukushi is very much a rich, deep reddish brown with some green sheening to it. It shades beautifully. It's quite lubricious. It's very smooth. It is just the perfect ink. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to compare that with another ink that I came across, and this is Octopus Writing Draw Brown Penguin. So this is not gonna, we will not be before you long, but just want to go ahead and get a sample of both of these. Let's try to do this without dropping everything. Just got a little eyedropper here. Gonna get a healthy sample, and I'll flush that out. Got a little water off to the side and my handy dandy ink towel. And as inspired by Leanne Likes, I just have a metal condiment cup, and I'm gonna try to do, I got this because I wanted to make this large enough to see, so that we can see it really, really well. All right, and let's go ahead and we'll do a writing sample. I'm going to use my brass dip pen here. This ink is just, it's so pretty. I love anything reddish brown. I love pinky browns. I love brown browns, light browns, medium browns. I'm not gonna say I'm not a big fan of deep browns, simply because I feel like a deep brown gets a little boring. But reddish browns are just my jam, and I absolutely love them. So this is wet. We're going to go ahead and cap this for safekeeping, put it to the side, and we're going to pull out the brown penguin. Now, I will admit, because I've already looked at this, I've already tried them, the brown penguin, I'm just going to go ahead and let you know, was definitely, it's shaded just as good, and you will see this in just a second here. But once it dried, in my opinion, it was just a little more, I want to say dull. It just wasn't as rich of a color. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. And I did notice that this ink is super thick. It is much thicker than, and like when let's see if it'll do it this time. But when I would start to write, it would just gush out. This is, see how thick this is. octopus. I'm trying to hold it upright so it's a thinner line. Which is making my writing look horrible. Okay. Already I can tell this particular ink just does not look as saturated. I can already see the green sheen coming through on the Tsukushi. The brown penguin, it's definitely thicker. The Tsukushi was definitely a more well-behaved ink, let's put it that way. It had such a great flow out of just using the dip pen here. So I will be back. Let's give this time to dry. I'll be back so that we can see the finished products. And I am back. It looks pretty much dry. The brown penguin does have a tiny, tiny wet spot, but let's bring in a little closer to see if we can see that green sheen. There it is on the Tsukushi. So Tsukushi definitely has richer tones. It's the same color, it just looks richer. The brown penguin looks a little bit more washed out when you look at the actual swatch, but other than that, the colors are the same. So if you're looking for an actual color dupe, then Octopus Brown Penguin is perfect. Now, that's the pro. The con, I would say, is it's just, again, not as smooth of an ink. I have had it, at first I thought it was just the brass dip pen that was causing it to come out so thick. But I have had it inked in a different pen before and had the exact same issue. And I did not have that issue with other inks in that particular pen, if that makes sense. So I deduced that it was an issue with the ink. Now, that's not a bad thing. It just means it's just not as, this is a thinner and this is a thicker ink. I guess it could depend on the nib size that you use. It's not as smooth of an ink as the Iroshizuku, but the color's great. The color is really great. If you're using a wider nib, say a broad, you will probably be able to notice that the brown penguin is just a little bit more washed out, just a little bit more. And there is no sheening. Whereas, like I said, let's just look at it one more time. There, this is a reddish brown with a green sheen, and there is no sheening on the Octopus Brown Penguin. When I wrote with it, it did shade just as well. The color matched. I will absolutely purchase this so that when this is gone, I do have something in that color family that's as close as I can find it. I just know that it's not the ink. It's not that girl. You know what I'm saying? So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you know of any other inks that are very similar to Tsukushi, please leave me a comment. Let me know. Would be happy to try it out. And talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.